Hey everybody, welcome back. We got into dangerous territory, both conversationally and also in terms of our mechanics on the last run. V4AE, 2JAE. There's a weird sort of symmetry going on there. You know what? We did start to pop on our last run. We had great stats, especially after picking up Polyphemus. HP got a little spotty, but we got just enough to get us to the end. For some reason, I thought TNT auto recharge, but once per room is fine too. Our stats are really good here. I mean, obviously because we popped the Empress card, but they're pretty great, even just from the standards of your average Eden start, or at least our recent Eden starts. So I'm feeling like we got nothing holding us back to begin with. Especially even, you know, just having one red heart is enough to make me excited moving forward. If there's one thing, and dude, I'm totally fine with this. If there's one thing I can say, and I don't know if I need to offer anything in my own defense on the previous run, it always looks like as soon as you pick up Polyphemus, it's game over, right? You win. I don't think that's necessarily the case. We kind of did screw ourselves by picking up number 1. The conditions and context that led to me taking number 1 is that I like tiers upgrades, and also I said no to a variety of optional items. And I'm glad I did, in hindsight, because were it not for that, we realistically, possibly, maybe even probably would have died. Tiny Planet in particular, losing Crack the Sky to take Forget Me Now. These are all fresh in my mind, because the run literally, like, just happened. Always nice to be able to record in bulk. Normally, I take it a little easier on Wednesdays, because I stream. I mean, it's a relatively heavy recording day. I didn't mean to put that down, but it did work. I meant to put this down. There we go. But I talk a lot on Tuesdays, so on Wednesday I try to give myself a little... You know, I record like maybe a video or two and then do the stream, and that might be good for that day. But today we're going to see a Vancouver Canucks game later, just after the NLSS tonight. So I want to make sure I did my work in the morning. There's still a chance. I read on the Canucks subreddit today. For the Canucks to make the playoffs, all they have to do is win their 9 remaining games, and then also have an incredibly complicated and perhaps unlikely series of events befall every single team above them in the standings. So dude, honestly, we're a lock. Bank it. We were talking about it on Team Unity yesterday, but you know, we're lucky, and don't get me wrong, I understand how lucky we are, but you know, every member of Team Unity follows sports to some extent, and every member of Team Unity lives in an area where they can go see some of their favorite sports teams live. You know, Austin's in Texas. I don't know. I mean, he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but he does at least, you know, he lives in an area where he could go see an NFL game with reason, or within reason, I should say, if he wanted to. And, you know, Dan lives in Michigan. He cheers for the Lions and the Michigan State Spartans and the Detroit Pistons, etc., etc. Malf's in Toronto. He roots for the Winnipeg Jets, but I don't blame him, by the way. I think you're okay to have 2 teams, and he also roots for the Leafs. Why not if you're living in the city? I don't. This doesn't have to be a sports episode, but the last episode was a gamer episode, so it only makes sense, right? At least to start with here. The only 2 balances in life, sports and video games. But I think if you live in a city with a sports team and you care about that sport, you have to take 1 or 2 approaches. You either root for that team, and they can be your second team, that doesn't bother me, or you absolutely hate them. Now, I think if you hate them, you're kind of a traitor, but only in like the kayfabe sense, you know what I mean? Like, there are people in Vancouver who root for the Bruins, even though the Bruins are one of Vancouver's most hated rivals over the last decade. And I don't know, it's probably because in middle school all the kids they didn't like rooted for the Canucks because they were really good. So just to irritate them, they started rooting for the Bruins. And, you know, it's all good. It's professional sports. It's not worth getting in like a fist fight over. Unless you're asking. But I think, you know, it would be weird to be like, yeah, I live in Vancouver, I root for the Minnesota Wild and the Carolina Hurricanes. I think the Canucks are okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of people like that here. It's just a little unusual. But we were talking about it on Unity, and I've mentioned this in Isaac episodes before, but I still am just like, when it comes to professional sports, I'm like this wide-eyed kid who lives in a small town, in the back of my brain at least, where every time I go to a game, I'm just like, boy, we're sure lucky to live in a city that has a major sports team. And then there's all these like jaded 60-year-old dudes in suits around me that are like, I wish I just stayed home tonight. And I'm like, you know what, buddy, pull your ticks up on the NHL ticket exchange, and not for a disproportionate markup. And you know, I'll take your seats for you. Doesn't bother me, brother. For now, at least. I'll get to that. My goal in life is to get to that point where I'm like, I wish I didn't see this. There's 30 teams in the NHL. But, we're 31, sorry. But, hold on. I got something to put in the Discord here. This is not relevant to you. Anyway. That's, I can't even, is a super top secret project. That I just mentioned there. I can't even bring it up. Let me get refocused here. It's I typed something in the Discord. I got the universal sign for we're mad, which is several people are typing. Perfect. All right. Anyway, I'm back. Sorry. I'm always just happy to. I'm still, you know, 7 years on, 6.5, living in Vancouver. I'm still just like, wow, you know. Dang, y'all got buses and everything. I'll tell you, when I worked in my hometown, I got to work a variety of different ways. One summer I walked. It's a fine walk, you know. It's like 45 minutes. It's a long time, but it's like a nice way to start your day, assuming you have the time. And I didn't own a car. So, you know, when I lived in a relatively small town, it did have functioning public buses. But if I wanted to take the bus home from work, and this is why I walked for 45 minutes, you'd have to wait anywhere from 1 to 20 minutes for the bus to come. And then following that, it went on a very circuitous route that took like another 35 minutes to get home. So you could either walk for 45 minutes or you could take like a 55-minute bus ride. Tough choice. In the rain, probably still take the walk, but maybe, you know, as an adult now, I might be more persuaded to take the bus. But if you wanted to get like several, I don't know, like more than a few miles away, you pretty much had no choice. So you know, a lot of people, they move to a relatively big city and you know, they get jaded. I'm not like that yet. Maybe I will be one day. Again, that's kind of the dream, right? Where you can like live in your city and be like, I hate it. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else, by the way. It's kind of the spirit of urban dwelling. It's like, I hate San Francisco. There's always a little dirty, slightly dangerous in some parts, all this inequality. Wouldn't change where I live for the world, brother. Okay, sorry, I was just hydrating there. We're way ahead of schedule, and it's entirely a result of two things. Great rate of fire and sack dagger. Nice to be warmed up and then get sack dagger and immediately take damage like a dummy. But this is it's a relatively powerful run. I would love to get to the point. Actually, you know what's helping out a lot as well is the biohazard or toxic shock, whatever the heck it's called. But to be able to have damage without having to use sack dagger would probably be the next step. And we're not in a bad spot. Don't take this as, you know, I'm not being thankful for the, you know, 3.45 times 5 rate of fire I got going on. That's pretty good. Might take you up on that offer. But we could use, even if it's just a tier effect. Like a tier effect like Holy Light would do incredible stuff for us here. Or even, like, Scorpio. I hate to say it, because Scorpio, at least the last time I checked in on the public perception of that item, is not particularly strong. But I mean, it did work for us on the last run. It made up the difference between, like, whoops. Between, like, an enemy's HP and a single Polyphemus shot. It's like the Polyphemus shot didn't get him, then the poison was likely to get them soon after. Don't pee, don't pee. Thank you. Done. Dude, Sack Dagger's doing wonders. You know what would also be nice is, and I'm just recycling parts from our last run, but a Thame would be super cool. Because I think with Sack Dagger, we're much more likely to take damage. If we could get a refund on that damage, be a pretty happy man. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that we have, you know, enough speed to make Sack Dagger work. Doesn't always happen. Oh, come on. That was almost a great room. Occasional, completely useless black powder play as well. Yo, okay, we got a nice damage upgrade. You know, it's not, I don't think this is a compromise to take Mom's Knife on this one. I think this is really good, because now, I mean, the whole theme of this run is being up close and personal with our damage dealers, and now that we got Mom's Knife, we're, I mean, our ability to do damage up close and personal is really amplified by a substantial degree. So, I don't know. We gotta be past the point where I'm apologizing for picking this item up. It's great. You know it's great. You've changed, NL. I hope so, dude. I've been doing this for 8 years. If I haven't changed, there's been a real issue. I'd rather be a 30-year-old who acts 38 than a 30-year-old who acts 22, I think. And I think the closer you are to 22, the more you're like, that's wrong. The closer you are to 38, I bet you're like, he's got it. He's got it all figured out. I tweeted today, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. It's not meant to just be an age-related tweet. Dude, I'm getting the heck out of this floor. Will you disrespect me with the nonsense that you're dishing out here with the, where's the item room? I don't, oh, it's probably this way. Never mind. But I have, you know, people, they tweet things about being in their 30s. And, you know, it's like, being 30 is cool because I sneezed and tore a muscle in my back. Sure. I mean, I've had some stuff like that happen, but, like, I had stuff like that happen in my 20s, too. I think it's more related to being in a relatively physically derelict state as a result of a sedentary work and leisure lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, since I started working out, it's been happening a lot less. The real spirit of being 30 for me is what happens to me once or twice a month, where I wake up with a sore throat, and then this is something that never used to happen to me when I was younger. Dude, I'm just moving on. I tried. Where once or twice a month, I'll just wake up and grab and I put a little makeup. I just got to fade away that sugar. And I have a sore throat, and I have to diagnose why I have a sore throat. It never happened to me when I was younger. When I woke up with a sore throat before the age of 28, there's only one thing happening. I'm getting sick. Now, I wake up with a sore throat, and I have to run through like a diagnostic check on myself. Do I have a sore throat because I talked too much yesterday? Well, I talked a lot yesterday, but I don't think, it doesn't feel like that kind of sore throat. You know, it feels more inflamed than anything else. Do I have a sore throat because of allergies? I don't know. What's it like outside? I gotta go do a check on the allergy scale or something like that. Did the air conditioning come on overnight and blast me with cold air? You know, while my mouth was open. I don't know. Am I getting sick? I don't know. The only way you know if you're getting sick, I think, is when you're a couple days on from that. Running the diagnostic. David Cross has a joke, you know, and he has it about nuclear bombs, but he's like, you know, when you wake up and your throat's all like weird and scratchy, and then you go Did a nuclear bomb go off in here or something? Anyway, you gotta hear it. I'm not trying to steal his joke. But as a teenager, when I heard that joke, I just kind of went, ha 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 ha. Get owned, George W. Bush. And then, when I didn't really get it. Now that I'm a little bit older, I've got perspective for that joke and I understand it. I can relate to it on a more adult level. I feel it in my bones. How's this run? It's good. Sorry, there's just, it's, you know, I'm a little tighter for time today. So we got, excuse me, where is my tiny friend? Oh, there he is. How'd you get all the way up there? I'm a little tighter for time today because of the game after the show. So I got the Discord open in the side window. I know you're like, please tell us what's happening in the Discord. No, it's inside baseball, brother. And we ain't even in spring training yet. But I gotta keep peeping it because out of respect for my colleagues, you know, I've been doing a much better job of not asking them 1 minute before the show starts whether they'd like to be on. You know, they're running their own enterprises. It seems very unfair to them. So occasionally, yes, I'm gonna be peeping over the Discord here. Oh, yeah, I mean, why not? We can hold 2 trinkets. Let's see what's going on here. They're talking about, oops, I see. Just, okay. Austin is talking about movies. He doesn't see that many movies. He said, and if he doesn't want his private messages read, well, don't send them to me. He said, you know, they were talking about the new Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have not seen the trailer yet. Austin said, it looks interesting, but in order to get him to see a movie, you need one dragon or other mysterious presence in it. That's fair enough. You know what you like. I saw How to Train Your Dragon 3. Did I mention this? I must have. It was like a month ago. I go through this now and then where I wouldn't say I'm ashamed of my age, but I do like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm 30 years old, and I go to see a movie like How to Train Your Dragon 3. I would say it's not a kid's movie. There's a distinction. You know, Trolls is a kid's movie. The Smurfs is a kid's movie. Pixar movies, not kid movies. Those are movies made for a general audience. They can be enjoyed by children. They're probably predominantly targeted at kids, but they're also just usually like well-crafted movies. So I see How to Train Your Dragon 3, and I was like, you know, it's fine, but like I kind of thought the emotional beats were a little bit forced. And then as I was thinking about this, I was like, bro, it's a movie for 13-year-olds. Of course you know, when I was 13, the most impactful emotional moment I've ever seen on film was when Mary Jane Watson comes up to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man at the funeral of Uncle Ben, which inexplicably takes place. No, wait, this is a funeral of Norman Osborn. Anyway, I feel like I just solved a decades-long plot hole in my own mind. And goes, you know, something, something, something. And then Peter Parker goes, I will always be here to be your friend, Mary Jane Watson. And then Mary Jane Watson goes, only a friend, Peter Parker? And then Peter Parker goes, that's all I have to give. And you're like, no, Peter! It's the love of your life, Peter! Come on! Only a hero can save us. Not gonna stand here. Okay, you get the idea. But, you know, and I see this out of myself and also out of my colleagues, and I'm not begrudging us at all. I just wonder, it's kind of a weird thing to reconcile, that we're like grown men in the prime of our lives? And then, we go see a movie, and, the movie is like, it's enjoyable for everybody, but it's mostly made for like 11 and 12-year-olds. And then I'm like, well, I thought the character development of Toothless in this one was a little bit childish. Like, I don't know where to... It's not that it shouldn't be expressed or exposed to criticism to that degree, but it's also like... aren't we all sort of like being the comic book guy from The Simpsons at this point? I mean, I'm as guilty of it as anybody else. This is not one of those situations where I'm like, I'm the only smart one and everybody else is stupid. It's like... It's a situation where I'm sincerely like, dude, I don't know how to reconcile this. Like, again, I saw The Incredibles 2. This is a year ago, I guess. Not quite a year. It doesn't really matter. I saw it in theaters probably like a month and a half after it came out. And I was like, it's pretty good. It's fun. But then, like, I saw more criticisms of it online that were like, it pushes the narrative that exceptional people should be held in a standard above the general populace. And I was like, we're doing this? I don't know. Maybe it's a fair criticism. Or maybe it's a movie for kids. I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to figure out where I land on the issue. Because by saying that I'm still trying to figure out where I land on the issue, it allows me to get the benefit of appearing sympathetic to both sides. Anyway, XL? It's got to be an... I was looking at it. It's got a thick spine. So I'm waiting for this deal with the devil. I'm going to use The Gift, starring Cate Blanchett, Katie Holmes. Who else? Who's the lead male actor in The Gift? Come on, dude. I should... Is it Aaron Eckhart or Dennis Quaid? The Gift. I should know that. Not The Gifted. I don't care about this show. It's Marvel. Turns out I'm going to watch the whole thing. No, not The Gift 2015. The Gift 2000. Thank you. It's directed by Sam Raimi, dude. Stars. Hold on. Cate Blanchett. Giovanni Ribisi. Greg Kinnear was also... Okay. I got myself confused on that one. It was Greg Kinnear. Greg Kinnear is a little bit like Aaron Eckhart. You look him up and you'll be like, I see the Aaron Eckhart comparison here. Strong jaw, haircut #1 when you're making your custom character in a video game. You get the idea. Rugged all-American charm. What was I talking about that led me down this cursed path? What? I do not recall. I don't know how I got the poop out of a deal with the devil, but maybe it's just... You think it's guaranteed to give you poop if you use it on the womb? Seems a little mean-spirited, which means it's likely the correct answer. If we have enough HP, I'll take Death's List, but I don't think we're gonna really want it. Probably. Especially not getting any spirit hearts out of that. Anyway, where was I going with this? I don't know, man. It's just... It's weird, dude. I feel like... And this doesn't necessarily... I hate when people are like, well, you know, my parents' generation didn't do it, so, you know, why don't we just... Cavemen didn't need multivitamins, so why are we taking them? You know, it's a... There's got to be a logical fallacy, like, already named for that, I have to imagine. But... At the same time, I am trying to picture, like, my 30-year-old parents. You know, I was, like, 6 or 7 years old at the time, going through 1st and 2nd grade. And then I come home and, you know, they're like, well, we saw, you know, Tim Burton's Batman. I thought it was a formulaic, if not entertaining, take on the Batman formula. And I would be like, Dad, you're a nerd. Give me your lunch money, nerd. I don't know. I'm not trying to restrict anybody's ability to send the criticism, of course. I'm just saying, you know, it's like... I have to look at myself in the movie theater mirror afterwards. And then be like, am I really going to be the man who's starting to approach middle age? Who's like, well, personally wouldn't recommend seeing The Incredibles 2. If you look at it through even a modestly utilitarian lens, it's got quite a troubling worldview, I'll tell you that much. I don't know, dude. Or does that make... Is that like the way you identify yourself as being cool now? If you're like, check it out. The Incredibles 2 and the Rise of American Excellence or something like that. Write an essay on medium.com. I'm just trying to figure out how I fit into this world, okay? Because I'm going to see all the big budget movies. I'm going to see all the Pixars, and, you know, I'm not going to be first in line for the Lion King remake because I don't want to be in a theater where everybody's singing the songs. But I'll be there, and I'm going to cry my eyes out, even though it's going to be probably, like, the most emotionally manipulative film I've ever seen. If that's a guppy item, I was gonna open the other one. Yikes. One of those situations where, like, the run is obviously great, and you can tell that it's amazing just because of the fact that we're, you know, 20 minutes in and we're on the cathedral. If I have one negative about it, is the fact that my rate of fire is actually slightly too high. But dude, I should be stoked. We're about to hit 15 wins in a row. Not a landmark streak, but definitely, like, at one video a day, that's half a month of strong performances, dude. Nothing wrong with that. Especially after, you know, we went through a period where things were looking a little dire. Looking like I had lost all of my Isaac mojo. Now, a lot of these wins have been relatively paint by numbers. You know, you just sort of, you get a tool, and then it's like, you go for it. But a couple of them have been rough. We've made them work. Or if not rough, at least a little tricky. Dude, joke's on you guys. I like getting hit because it lets me use Sack Dagger and confidence again. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, another Spirit Heart. I was thinking I would give you another hot take about the Epic Store. NL, please no, dude. Okay, fine. I don't have anything else to say anyway. I was mostly making a joke. We're in that awkward commentary period where you're like, you know, we probably got like 7.5 minutes left in this run. You really want to start something? And then Uchiha's gonna make a, you want to be starting something, but then you can't make a joke about it because the HBO documentary about Michael Jackson came out recently. Yeah, I watched it. You know, I'm not a federal investigator, but they make a convincing case. I understand Michael Jackson was under investigation by the FBI, but you kind of watch the documentary and you go, why would these people lie about it? You know, I don't know. Okay? Everything's complicated now, dude. It's all, it's a tangled cat's cradle. Just want to listen to, you know, Man in the Mirror. Can't even play Man in the Mirror on Twitch Sings because I'm not saying, you know, this PC gone crazy. It's quite the opposite. It's more like, you know, why couldn't we have sorted these issues out in the 90s when they were contemporaneous as opposed? Maybe we did sort them out in the 90s and it's just dredging up old, I don't know, dude, okay? It's a contentious time. Yo, but you know what's not contentious? Double knife duty. Knives chow, meat, knives, tamago. That's Japanese for egg. Omae mo shinderu. Yo, I forgot to drop the left hand. It's been a while. That's a blast from the past. I wonder if egg is the word that I know the most in other languages, just because I keep getting tweeted. So egg is egg in English. It's œuf in French. In Japanese, it's tamago. In Korean, it's gyeran. And in Chinese, it's Dan, aka Dan. That's the one I definitely get tweeted the most. Do I know any other ones? You know, I don't know what egg is in German. I don't know what egg is in Dutch or Swedish or, you know. Spanish? I feel like I should know Spanish. Is it, hold on. No, huevos. Huevos. He's done it. Which means in Portuguese, it's probably huevas. Okay, so there's another one. Toss on the list. You gotta feel like I know hello in more languages than I know egg, though. You know, there's hello, bonjour, hola, ciao. And then there's like, I mean, there's Guten Tag. There's also like, you know, 10 Scandinavian and Baltic languages where hello is just like hello, hello, hey, hi. You know, it's like, I apologize, probably getting several of those wrong. But I'm counting them is all I'm saying. It's like I realized recently I can't read Dutch. But you can almost read Dutch if you have a high tolerance. If you know English and you have a high tolerance for being incorrect, you can sort of suss it out. You know, I was looking into being like a polyglot several years ago because I had Rosetta Stone. And I heard that the easiest language to learn, if you already know English, is Norwegian. Anybody got any thoughts on that as we finish the episode here? Look at that. Easy. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!